everyone, welcome to the ranking. Here's my ranking of all the seasons of Game of Thrones from my least favorite to my favorite, season 1 to season 8. I've had this recommendation for years on my YouTube channel. Everyone's been saying, rank the seasons of Game of Thrones. And I always answered everyone's reply with the same answer. I will do it when the show ends. The show has finally ended. It didn't end on the strongest suit, but it ended, and I still love Game of Thrones, and I always will love Game of Thrones. I can't wait to buy all of them on Blu-ray, and I can't wait to watch it all again. Even I've watched it all like 4 times, but I'm going to talk about all the seasons. All the seasons of Game of Thrones, from my least favorite to my favorite. Let's get to this ranking. Coming in number 8 is Game of Thrones Season 8. Yes, this new season of Game of Thrones is obviously the weakest season of Game of Thrones. A very disappointing season and a very disappointing conclusion to an epic, amazing, probably one of the greatest shows on television. I don't think it's the worst finale ever. I think Lost, Dexter, and How I Met Your Mother had way worse endings than Game of Thrones, but it could have been a lot better because of poor execution and stuff, but there were still some highlights. I loved the first 2 episodes. Episode 3 was still pretty good. I liked the ending of certain people's stories, like Sansa and Tyrion and stuff, and it's still a really well shot season, and overall, I would probably still watch it if I bought the Blu-rays of the whole series. I'd still watch the season again. It's not like an unwatchable season, but I understand why a lot of people are sad and depressed and just angry. I'm not that angry because I'm mature about it, but yes, it was a disappointing season, but it's still not a season I hate. It's just not a season that I love. Coming in number 7 is Game of Thrones Season 7. Game of Thrones Season 7 is actually a very good season. I actually really enjoyed it. This was like the first season I felt like fans were sort of being disappointed with some aspects of the story because the books ended a while ago and stuff, and just they had to do their own little thing. And then the first 2 seasons after the books kind of ended, which was season 4 and stuff, people were still digging it. But season 7, there was not a lot of like political intrigue and a lot of great dialogue scenes. There was a lot of action in season 7, a lot of action, and a lot of things happening very fast. And I was okay with that. I actually really liked a lot of action scenes in season 7. There was a lot of cool moments. Dany meeting Jon and building this relationship was really cool. The fight, when they fight the White Walkers north of the Wall, was really cool. Bronn shooting down a dragon was pretty awesome. How Lady Olenna dies by Jaime was a really great scene. There's a lot of cool episodes in season 7. It doesn't have that amazing dialogue and some of the amazing character moments like other seasons do. In season 7, like, Tyrion disappointed me in the new season, but Tyrion doesn't disappoint me in season 7, actually. He actually has some pretty cool scenes, but overall, he didn't have a lot to do, which was a little sad and stuff. And even Arya didn't have a lot to do other than, killing Littlefinger and stuff, but as a whole, it was still a good season. Not the best, but still a great season. Coming in number 6 is Season 5. Season 5 of Game of Thrones was a good season. I liked when Tyrion first meets Dany. All the conversations Tyrion has with Dany was really cool. I really liked that. The stuff Jon goes through is really good, really cool, and just that whole ending of his entire Night's Watch stabbing him was fucking crazy, just like really cool. I liked a lot of things that happened in season 5. Tyrion on the trip with Jorah was really cool and stuff, and just a lot of things go down in season 5, and it's really interesting. Shame. However, as a lot of cool things do happen within the overall story, there's a few things that just not a lot of like amazing things happen. Like, even a lot of cool things happen, there's just some things that I'm just like, but all in all, like, did anything really change throughout the whole story? And that was no. Arya becoming like, being Jaqen Hagarth and just becoming an assassin, all cool shit and everything, but there's a lot of cool things that happen, but nothing really affects the overall plot, which is, whatever, but still a lot of cool dialogue, a lot of cool action and stuff. Still, it's Game of Thrones, but again, not the best season. Coming in number 5 is Season 3 of Game of Thrones. I like Season 3. The Red Wedding, great season, great episode. I didn't read the books then. I started reading the books when Season 4 ended. So, yeah, I didn't expect the Red Wedding. I didn't know who was going to die at the Red Wedding, but Lady Catelyn and Robb and his wife dying, and getting betrayed by the Boltons, and Walter Frey, that little piece of shit. Like, how can you do this to us? It was really good. It was really good, though. And all the scenes with John with the wildlings was really great. It's just like his relationship with Ingrid and how it's like tested. That's really cool and stuff. All the scenes with Sansa and Tyrion are great, and Tyrion's insults to Joffrey. All great stuff. Like, I had no issues with season 3. I think season 3 is a fucking really great, compelling season. Just not as good as others, but still, really great season. Coming to number 4 is season 1 of Game of Thrones. Season 1 of Game of Thrones got me hooked instantly after the second episode. A lot of people found there was a lot of overabundance of nudity and sex scenes, which there is. You really gotta, like, I feel like Game of Thrones, you just gotta just keep going with it, and eventually you just get invested with it. But season 1 had a lot of great politics, a lot of great dialogue. Sean Bean as Ned Stark was so good. I loved Mark Addy as Robert Baratheon. They kill a lot of characters off just in the first season. The main character dies in the first season. He's the main character of the show. But it's Sean Bean, so of course. But a lot of cool things happen in season 1, like how it ends with Dany coming out of the fire, her dragons. I loved Jason Momoa as Khal Drogo and stuff. He was really cool, and Tyrion just instantly became my favorite character. Like, right when he came on screen, his opening scene is just him getting his dick sucked by hookers. That's awesome. I love every scene with Tyrion and Jon stuff. He's like, let me tell you something, bastard. Don't let that wood ever hurt you. Wear it like armor, then no one can ever hurt you with it. Just great. My brother has a sword, I have my mind. I love that. It's so good. Jon was always a great character too. Dany was always a great character. Arya was always a great character. Her learning the dancing technique in season 1. It's just great stuff. It was awesome. It takes a little to get into, but honestly, when you get into it, it's just awesome. Coming in number 3 is season 6 of Game of Thrones. Season 6 was such a good season. I really liked it. Everything with the High Sparrow and Tommen. Very interesting stuff. Cersei fucking all that shit up was pretty cool. A lot of things just went down. Everything with Jon and Sansa. I think when Sansa meets up with Jon again is probably one of the most heartwarming scenes in all of Game of Thrones. That scene literally almost made me cry when Sansa, like, just hugs Jon. They've been through so much, and that moment was just so beautiful. Battle of the Bastards is one of the greatest episodes, probably the greatest episode of Game of Thrones. The action is absolutely spectacular. It is so good. And how Ramsay Bolton gets his demise is so satisfying. It's so great to watch. And I love how that entire action sequence is made. Beautifully made. What a great action scene. Probably the greatest action scene in all of Game of Thrones. The Battle of the Bastards. So good. And just Jon goes through so much in season 6, and he is the main character of season 6, and it's so cool, and he becomes such a compelling character, and when they make him King of the North at the end of season 6, it's just so awesome, so riveting. You're just like, oh my god, this bastard finally gets a title, and he gets to become King of the North. It's so cool. Yeah, I love season 6. A lot of things that go down, and I loved every second of it, and yeah, it's one of my favorite seasons. Coming to number 2 is season 2 of Game of Thrones. This was always like my favorite season, but it's so close with my number 1, but season 2 was so strong. It's the season of Tyrion. That's why I love this season. It's the season of Tyrion becoming the Hand of the King to Joffrey. Fuck that prick. But Ramsay was worse. But Tyrion becoming the Hand of the King and just outsmarting and outthinking people. This is the season that made a lot of people fall in love with Tyrion, and how he outthinks people and just outwits people and stuff. It makes people just look so stupid. I love Tyrion. I love how he fucks with a lot of people. I love how he fucks with Joffrey. I love the battle sequence when Stannis tries to attack King's Landing, and Tyrion is the only one that stands against him with all the troops. We shall approach them from the rear and fuck them up the ass. I love the Hound scene when he's just like, fuck the king, fuck them all. It's so great. Fuck the water, bring me wine. It's just so great, and I love it. Season 2 is just so great. It's got some of the best dialogue, some of the best lines, some of the best writing ever in Game of Thrones is in season 2. So it's amazing. And my number 1 favorite season of Game of Thrones is season 4. Season 4 is perfection from start to finish. Every episode is fantastic. I love season 4. If anyone ever says what has the best writing, best direction, best action, some of the best scenes ever, I always say season 4. Season 4 has some of the best of all time of Game of Thrones. It gave us Oberyn. Oberyn comes. I love Oberyn. The fight between him and the Mountain is so fucking cool. I love it. There's also just a road trip of Arya and the Hound, and it's awesome and hilarious, and it's great. It also has the fight between Brienne of Tarth and the Hound, which is really gruesome and gritty and just, oh, so good. It also has the fight sequence between Jon and the Night's Watch versus the Wildlings. Really cool battle sequence, really fucking cool. It has Tyrion dealing with the trials and stuff, and he gets charged for the murder of Joffrey. And we get to see Joffrey die. That was like so satisfying. Like, ah! I wish Cersei died in agony like Joffrey did, but yeah, Tyrion, he's locked in prison. He has to deal with like his case and everything, and Jaime's the one that believes him, and everything Tyrion goes through in season 4 is so compelling. That whole courtroom scene, and he just like calls his father out and like challenges him by trial of combat, is some of the best acting by Peter Dinklage. He is so great in that scene. And then his arc throughout the season is so great, and what he does to Shay, and how he kills Tywin Lannister on the shitter, just everything that happens in season 4 is so good. I remember watching season 4, I'm like, oh my god, this is what being satisfied feels like. Oh, it feels so good. I remember when it ended, season 4, I'm like, oh my god, one of the best endings ever. I couldn't wait for the next season, and season 4 is everything that I love about Game of Thrones. It just has some of the best battles, some of the best character moments, some of the best writing ever, and just, yeah, I love it. So that was my ranking of all the seasons of Game of Thrones from my least favorite to my favorite. Everyone has different opinions, so I want to hear your guys' opinions. What is your ranking of all the seasons? What is your favorite? What is your least favorite? What are some of the middle ground seasons? Give me your thoughts and opinions. Comment below, let me know. And as always, for this video, please like, subscribe to this channel, and join the dark side.